Yo, what's poppin', Low Gang? Today we're doing more April 2023 rants. This one's from Izzy, who says, "Rant about ReZero?" Question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark, question mark. Well, this one's pretty simple. Very short rant request. Just talk about ReZero. So, I've seen ReZero Season 1. Back in the day, I saw the first 2 and some episodes of ReZero Season 2, and I was bored. And so I stopped watching it. I do intend on getting back to it one of these days, but Neon tells me it's very, very dull compared to the first season. Now, the first season of ReZero, I think it's pretty good. It's not great, it's not a masterpiece, but I think it's pretty good. Now, the reason why I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece is because it does feel a bit overly slow and protracted at times. The example that always comes to mind is in the final loop, or I guess the winning loop of the finale of the series. There's just so much going on, and there's this one point where they get, his entire party gets put to sleep by this fucking flower. And my thought going through my mind at that time is, what's the point of having the flower there? And maybe there is a point. Maybe I'm forgetting something and blanking on it, but even still, I feel like there was a way you could write it to where the flower wasn't there. Because it really is not the main focus of the arc. You could immediately cut to all the important shit that's more relevant instead of going on the side quest. Like, another thing. The white whale fight. That should have been one episode. There was no way you can justify that being 2 episodes. Another issue I have with the series is that Subaru, and I've heard that this is, because stuff is cut from the light novels, right? So in the early stages of the story, they cut out some stuff where Subaru is being a bit more obnoxious, where you get, more into his head and get a better feel of what his flaws are. And they cut out some of that stuff in the early stages of the story, presumably to make him a more endearing protagonist. However, you can't do that because later, the majority of the story is about Subaru overcoming his flaws. So, to compensate for this, the Royal Selection arc, those 2 episodes, kind of obnoxious episodes because they dial up Subaru's unlikable qualities to the nth degree. And I'm sure that still happened in the original light novels, because that's the point of the Royal Selection arc, as well as just some background world building. But in the anime, it feels so out of left field in a way, because it's like, well, hold on, he's not nearly this bad most of the time. He's a bit of a goof. He's not perfect, but he's not nearly this self-centered and arrogant and this such a piece of shit. But at the same time, I do like Subaru as a character, even if I have some minor qualms with how his character was handled. I think he is an endearing protagonist. I want to see him grow. And even though the Royal Selection arc in the moment can be a bit, annoying because of just how unlikable Subaru is, when you get to the conversation of him and Amelia in the bedroom, and Amelia's just like, fuck off, what the hell are you doing, Subaru? That scene is so good. That has to be one of my favorite moments of the entire season. Another thing people like is the Rem conversation where he says, "I'm in love with Amelia," infamous meme. It got me good the first time I saw it, way back when. The second time I saw it, I thought it was still pretty good. I was surprised at how an episode that's essentially a single conversation held my attention so well. Pretty baller episode. I will say I'm not super into Amelia and Rem as characters, especially Amelia. I don't get why Subaru loves her so much. I would have gone with Rem. And even then, Rem, despite being cute, is not even an immaculate character to me. To me, the main character who I really want to see grow and who I care about in ReZero is Subaru. And, hey, he's the protagonist, so pretty good thing that he's the character I care a lot about. The story has a lot of emotional moments. The episode where Rem goes full Twister and just gets destroyed by Betelgeuse. Banger scene all around, but I just don't think, because the story isn't as tight as some of those other shows. Think about, to use a show that's not even much of an equivalent, but Monogatari. Let's use something aside from Monogatari. What's a good show I can use aside from Monogatari that's very narratively driven? Uh, but like something like Mushoku Tensei, for example. There's an interview where Rifujin no Maganote says that because he's a ReZero fan. They're both light novels that got put on the same site. And so Rifujin is like, yo, I've read ReZero. I'm a ReZero fan. I think it's pretty good. And the thing I like about it is that he shows all the things that I would not. Mushoku Tensei has such fast pace. Like, I know people say Mushoku Tensei is slow to start, which is kind of true, but at the same time, think about how much development, right, Rudius has by episode 2 of Mushoku Tensei. He has gone from a hikikomori. I saw your comments on the last video. Hikikomori. He goes from that to someone who can now venture outside, who has overcome that trauma. By episode 4, he has seen a man... Not episode 4. What the fuck episode was it? I think is it episode 5? One of the, episode... Anywhere from 5 to 6. But whatever. Rudius sees, a man die in front of him, and he's like, yo, what the fuck is this? He's resolved to better himself as a person. He's having to deal with the fact that this fantasy world isn't going to shelter him the entire time. He has to see that, hey, people die. Eris was going to get sold into slavery, held up for ransom, maybe even worse, right? This is a dark, dark world, and he has to come to terms with that in a very blunt way. ReZero, by episode, the first 3 episodes, really 4, because episode 1 was a double-length episode, essentially show us the mechanics of the world, and that, it is dark. Dark things do happen. There's a lot of death, and we learn that Amelia, has some mysteries, but it's all so much more slowly paced. Subaru has not gotten any development, and that is, you need to be in that mindset for ReZero. You need to be in the mindset of, hey, nothing's gonna fucking move for 10 episodes. Just buckle yourself in, get ready for the long haul. And I've heard that gets taken to the nth degree in season 2, where we spend a lot of time exploring characters' emotions, which is what makes me hesitant to watch it, really, because I think that's one of the worst aspects of the first season. And season 2, taking that to the extreme could be a great thing, could be a terrible thing. I've been told it's a terrible thing, but I've also been told by some other people that it's not so bad. Anyway, see ya. That's about it.